In this video, we're going to be looking at all 12 dominant 7th chords and how we can play them on the bass guitar. Make sure that you watch the first video that we did in this series on the major and minor triads before moving on to the dominant 7th chords. It'll make your life much easier. Once again, just like with the major and minor triads, we're going to group them into families that share the same left-hand fingering shapes and patterns. We're also going to try to do our best to keep them within the same range on the bass guitar. That range will be from the open E string all the way up to this C, which is the 5th fret on the G string. This will mean that for some of the chords that we're doing today, we're going to have to change the way that we play them to keep them within that range. But I think this is a good thing actually, because it'll teach you to practice your arpeggios descending as well as ascending. Very important. Lots of people only practice them going up. We've got to practice all of our chords and arpeggios and scales and all those types of things descending as well. It's very important. Alright, so without any more rambling, let's just get right into these dominant 7th chords on the bass guitar. My fridge is going off now. Hopefully you can't hear that too much. So the dominant 7th chord type is essentially a major triad. There's E major triad with a minor 7 on top. In this case it'll be D natural. To find the minor 7, you simply play the triad. Now the octave is just above the 5th. In this case E. There's the 5th B, and the octave E is just above it. You go back down 2 half steps. There's 1 D sharp and there's 1 more open D string. So that is the pattern for the dominant 7th chord. That's how the chord is constructed. Major triad with a minor 7th on top. So that's E7. The next one is A7. Again, same exact shape as E7. Open A, C sharp the 3rd, E the 5th, and now there's the root note. Go back 2 half steps, 1, 2, and there's the dominant 7, G. Okay, now we're going to go on to D7, same as the D major triad. And now we're going to play the C on the 5th fret of the G string. Now the octave in this case would actually be all the way up here on the 7th fret. That's the high D. So if you wanted to work it out from there, there's the octave, 1 half step, 2 half steps down to C. That's D7. For my left hand, I like to use the upright bass technique. I'm actually not using my ring finger. So for this case, open D, F sharp by the pinky, A by the 1st finger, and then rather than reach to get to the C there, I'm just going to shift everything, move my whole hand, and play C with the pinky finger. That's my preference. If you want to do it as a 1 finger per fret type hand shape, you can do that too. That's also possible. Now moving on to G7 and C7. In the major triads video, that was G major triad and C major triad. And again, the same thing, we're just going to add on the minor 7 on top. In this case, F on the 3rd fret of the D string. So that's G7 and now C7. B flat on the 3rd fret of the G string. Next group is F7, B flat 7 and E flat 7. So the F7 triad, that's the triad, and now we're going to put the flat 7 on top. Again, you can go to the root, go to the octave, which is directly above the 5th, and go back 2 half steps, and there's your dominant 7. B flat 7, exact same deal. There's your dominant 7, A flat, 1st fret, G string. make sure you practice the major triads first. It makes this a lot easier. All right, now we get to E flat 7. For this one, if we played it completely ascending like that, we're going to go outside of our range for this lesson. Our top note was going to be this C on the 5th fret. Now we've gone up to a D flat. We can of course play it like that, but it also requires 2 shifts of the hand like that, or you could play the open G here. Either way, you're going to have to do 2 shifts with the left hand to play it like that. So for this lesson, we're going to play it like this. We're going to play the E flat here. That's the only option we've got for it. And then we'll take the 3rd down the octave, G, 3rd fret E string, B flat, 1st fret A string, and then we'll put the D flat on the A string, 4th fret. By doing this, we put all the notes in the range that we have given ourselves. Okay, now going on to A flat 7 and D flat 7. These are pretty simple as well. A flat major triad. That's my preferred fingering. You can of course do 1 finger per fret. Then G flat on the D string, 4th fret. Notice with the dominant 7th as well, if there's your root note on the 4th fret, E string, the dominant 7 is going to be on the same fret but on the D string. A string, D string, it's right there. Root, dominant 7. Take note of these types of shapes when you're practicing this stuff. And for the shifting, first 2 notes in this position here, and then I'll shift back for the E flat and shift up again for the dominant 7, G flat. Okay, D flat 7, same shape. Last group, F sharp 7 and B 7. So here's the F sharp major triad. And again, there's the dominant 7, 2nd fret of the D string. So whichever way you want to think of this as find your root note and go back 2 frets, or place the dominant 7 note on the same fret as the root note down below, but up 2 strings, whichever is simplest for you to think about. And finally B7, same shape. And then we're back to the top again. That's all 12. So let me just run these with the backing track. This track is set to 100 beats per minute. If you've got the iReal Pro app, you can of course take the tempo up or down as you please. So let's hear how it sounds with the track. Thanks so much for checking out the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully this has given you something to practice for your dominant 7th knowledge. The next couple of videos in the series will be on the major 7th chord and on the minor 7th chord, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.